Welcome everyone. Today we're running Barbarian build for Season 4 for Diablo 4. Let me take down the voice a little bit. As you can see behind me, this is gonna be a solo and also co-op boss killing build that is insanely fast. The first demonstration you will see will be against Andy, and this is the Uber version with level 200. Now this entire boss fight took less than 40 seconds. And of course you may say, hey, this is the solo fight. But what you can see is our Barbarian friend has tons of damage, tons of burst damage, and also is very durable, very survivable. He took down Andy in a few seconds, and the entire phase actually took longer than the boss fight itself. So if you're looking to clear any of the Uber bosses solo, you can look into this build. Now on the second demonstration, my friend is demonstrating a carrier for Uber Duriel at level 200. And yes, he's carrying 3 level 100 slowpoke necromancers. All 3 of us actually don't do much damage. And what you can see against Duriel with 4 minions, yes, he can still do the carry. And he is pumping out tons of damage. As you can see the crits and the numbers. And I think the entire Duriel fight took less than 2 minutes, I believe, because he keeps running around. And most of the necromancers are everywhere. And of course, I'll have the entire replay for you guys to have a look. This is a very consistent, very powerful boss slayer Barbarian that will be able to carry any boss in any of the mode for anything you wanted. Yes, I have been looking into alternative builds towards Necromancer, and let me just show you guys over here. I'm actually leveling up a Barbarian myself. And here I have found the grandfather from one of the carries my friend did for me. So yes, I'm leveling up Barbarian myself. I'll be trying a variety of gears and also different builds like the Thorns build. But of course here, we're focusing on the boss slayer Barbarian. It's insane, right? Oh, did you see that damage? Yes, the Barbarians have some insane potential to do some massive damages, and I wasn't sure if that was from the Holy Bolt or from the Barbarian, but together you can carry quite easily in terms of solo or group play. And this is not all, guys. One of the biggest highlights for this Barbarian build is the ability to fight Uber Lilith, both solo and also in co-op play. So here, let me show you guys the replay of him fighting Uber Lilith. Now as you can see, he is using his shells, he's using his steel grabs together with ultimate with the Core of the Ancient. And within a few seconds, he was able to burst Lilith down into the second phase. And this of course will take him into the harder mode, and having so much mobility and also ability to maneuver against the boss fight allows him to have a quite good fight against all the spells Lilith can throw at you. So the build is very mobile, very durable, and also tons of damage. So I am planning to try the Barbarian Bash Lord myself, and this is so powerful, right? So coming over to the second phase of Lilith, you can see that our Barbarian friend is punching down the boss quite fast, and having the ability to stagger and also the ability to dodge out of the attack patterns is quite important. Should you guys want to solo Lilith and any of the Uber boss yourself, this build is definitely ideal for Season 4. And if you want to be carrying your friend, on the second part of the video, I'll teach you guys how to carry your friends super easy. Because you can get them to join your party before the boss dies, and then get them achievements and also get them the loot from the Uber boss. And we have been testing this out ourselves. So here you can see in the replays, our friend was able to take down Uber Lilith with only taking 2 instances, or actually 3 instances of damage. In the final few hits, he actually took 1 instance. So we'll talk about how to kill Uber bosses, because you can see the icon over here. The more instances of damage you take, the more damage you will take. And the best part about taking down Uber bosses is that you'll get achievements, which in return will give you this particular spark. So my gear is broken because I have been AFK a little bit making the video. So yes, you can get this particular spark coming from the Uber bosses, and this will allow you to craft any Uber uniques you wanted after getting 4 of those. Now just to show you a quick demonstration, my friend was able to carry my Necromancer with Uber Lilith using the method I'll teach you guys on the second part. And yes guys, that's how I got my Lilith achievement for killing Lilith in Uber version at level 200. Now similar to Alpha guides, I'll provide those boss fighting replays solo and also co-op for you guys to have a look, to learn the rotations and also to see how powerful the Barbarian is against the Uber bosses. And over here my friend has also posted his particular replay onto YouTube, should you want to follow him and also see his latest update for the Barbarians over here onto YouTube. So coming over to the gears, the stats and also the choices of FX for this particular boss slayer Barbarian. As you guys can see in the gears, my friend has gotten most of the gears to level 4, 8 and also even 12. But if you guys don't get that high or if you don't have those items, don't feel too bad. You can still deal tons of damage with a Bash Barbarian. As for the first two-handed weapon, we're going to have the basic skills granting you additional attack speed, and this will also provide you with additional damage for the basic skills. In terms of the tempering craft, you're looking for damage against close enemies and also additional bash cleave damage, and this will be very big for the weapons to be crafted on. He's also getting strength, maximum life and also critical strike damage, and you can see this is the theme for all the weapons. All the weapons are also socketed for basic damage. And here you can see he also got a little bit of Warcry active damage while Warcries are active. And most of the weapons you do want the bonus stats, either strength, maximum life or critical damage for the highest damage. And you guys can look through the choices of gears and also FX's armor abilities to see how it works. We have also made a version without the Hello Queen's quest in case you guys don't have the Uber Unique helmet yet. But this helmet does provide you with tons of damage, cooldown reduction, and also even more skill ranks to your skills. Now the second offensive FX will provide my friend with additional damage in terms of different elements up to 30% every 7 seconds, followed by ability to deal additional damage while standing still, and this can be standing still up to 3 times, and this can be up to 30% more damage. And over here we have the basic skills granting us 60% attack speed. You can see all the skills are circulated around the basic skills, which enable us to deal more damage with Bash. And next up we have the Edge Master dealing 20% more damage on maximum resource. We're not spending resource, so it's always max resource. And of course we have the Bolt Chieftain to allow us to rotate our shouts to reduce the cooldowns to provide us with more utility and also more damage. And followed by that, we also have the ability to increase basic skill damage while having higher maximum resource, up to 120%. And over here we have the Hello Queen's quest, we don't have to talk about that. It is a best in slot helmet if you can get for both cooldown reduction, defense and also skill ranks. But if you don't have it, make sure you come over to the builder's guide to see what's available. As for the chairs, we're going with additional healing coming out of casting skills up to 2% of your maximum life. And as for the gloves, we're using these particular unique gloves that provide us AoE damage for the basic spells with increased basic spell damage. This is the best in slot unique glove, and ideally you want to find the greater effects for critical chance. And this is the same case for the rings and also other gears. Now if you look into the builder's guide, you can see the details of which of the greater effects you'll be looking for this particular boss slayer barbarian, and this will allow you to target focus which of the key gears you're looking for. And next up, we actually have one of the most essential pieces for the build, and this is coming from the ranks to bash. If you want to be killing bosses, you want to as high rank as bash as you can, and on the pens you can roll into the greater effects up to 4 rank of bash onto the pens. And this is actually one of the biggest piece of gears that provide you with high damage coming out of these pens. You can also gain damage reduction coming from bleeding enemies up to 25%. Finally, we have the mobility boots. Yes, as barbarians against the bosses, you want to move fast. You don't want to take damage from the Uber boss, because each time you take damage, you'll take even higher damage for each of the debuff you get. So he's going with movement speed, greater FX movement speed, and also resistance and also armor on those boots. Now I figured it's probably easier if I just use the builder's guide over here, right? So coming over to the builder's guide, the technique, also the mastery we're using is going to be the two-hand axe for the vulnerability damage increase. And over here you can see the choices of the gems will be choppers for the weapon, basic skills, additional health on the armor pieces, and any resistance you're missing. If you're missing a particular resistance, you can see in the replays, my friend is socketing different resistance. So this will enable him to achieve close to 70% resistance. You can see there are some resistance that he's missing, but that is okay, because this way he will min and max the resistance that he's missing for his current gears. Now if we come over to the skill tree briefly and also the Paragon, what you can see is we'll be doing most of the damage coming from Bash. And Bash will be ideal to provide us with higher damage, and Bash will be the basic attack spell we're enabling for the entire build. We're getting additional life, additional damage reduction against elites, and also getting the triple shots. together with the ability to bleed enemy with thorns, which will give us even more damage reduction coming from the defensive aspects. And here we're getting additional duration, damage reduction, and also all the damage reduction and also damage bonuses, critical damage bonuses, damage bonus from Fortified. Now one big highlight for my friend's build is that he's going with Core of Ancient. I have had a look at other similar build that was going for Rupture, and that was providing the build with 40% attack speed. Now it is a personal choice for my friend to go with Core of Ancient because he mentioned it is actually a high burst of damage together with additional attack speed, additional damage, and also with additional chance of staggering enemies, and also the agents will actually do a lot of work while you are summoning them. So this is a burst damage that can use to stagger the boss or deal tons of more damage when the boss is staggered. Together with passives over here to deal even more damage and also ability to stagger the boss or stun enemies, he can deal tons of damage while in Berserk. Now in terms of the Paragon board, we're going with 7 different glyphs, so I won't go through the whole board, but we can briefly have a look at the glyphs. We're going for Exploit for additional vulnerability damage, we're going for Territorial for close damage and also damage reduction. Together with Aria for additional berserking damage, and Untaunted with damage while fortified. We also have Martial to lower the cooldowns of shouts, together with Might and also Revenge for additional damage, and also dealing Thorns damage means you'll be able to do more damage against enemies. Remember guys, we're getting some free Thorns and also free additional damage coming from this perk, so it's quite important to get a perk in for Tough as Nail, because you also have damage reduction while enemies are bleeding over here. Now coming over to the skill rotation for this boss Slayer Barbarian, right away you can see at the start of the fight my friend actually starts with the Core of Ancients, and this gives him tons of attack speed and also tons of damage bonus. Together with the ability to shatter the bosses, this actually brings him to the next phase very quickly, and this allows him to avoid taking stacks of debuffs coming from the boss. If you get damaged by the Uber bosses in Diablo 4, what's going to happen is it will increase the future damage you take from the bosses. So this is why the Barbarian for the boss killer should have mobility and also should be able to dodge the attacks from the bosses. And I do believe for this entire fight he didn't take the direct damage from boss, and that was important. So in terms of the Duriel fight, it is very similar. With 4-man carries, you do have to be aware of the damage stacks you're taking, because the poison, so this is a debuff over here, after 3 stacks you start to die to Duriel's poison, and this is only because you can't quickly kill the Duriel down quickly. Now I believe he can take down Duriel in less than 20 seconds if he's playing solo, sometimes within 1 phase of Duriel running away. But other times with 4 men, if you're carrying 4 players, you really want to avoid taking multiple instances of the boss's damage. And if you can do that, you'll be very solid against any of the bosses to carry your friend through the Uber bosses. Now coming over to Uber Lilith fight. This fight was not easy, and together he was carrying me through Uber Lilith. And if you look closely, he was critting and also overpowering for over 60 mil. I believe one of the highest crits he got was over 100 or 120 mil with one single swipe, and he's swiping very fast without the attack speed bonus. Again, we're casting Core of Ancient at the start of the fight to push the boss down to the next phase, because this will avoid you taking more damage from the boss and also avoid taking those debuffs. During this time, you want to dodge the boss's debuffs and also the boss's attacks. You want to be a little mobile on your feet and learn the mechanics and also rotations from the boss. It is quite important for you to be patient, because the moment you take more damage coming from the boss, then you're in trouble. The damage for this build is definitely top tier for this particular season. And as you guys can see, once he gets his rotation up and once the boss actually stays in place, he can deal tons of damage. Now against Uber Lilith, you want to learn to go into the zone and also avoid those bullets. If you take 1 or 2 of those bullets, you'll be one-shotted no matter how much life you have. And Uber Lilith will have the ability to pull you in like this. During this time, you want to avoid this and also have one of your shells to become unstoppable. Because the build has a lot of staggering, the moment you stagger the boss, this is where you deal the most damage. And you can see the boss went down from 70% HP to 30% HP. Now again guys, you really do want to learn the Uber Lilith mechanics, because in this particular season, there's not many builds that can one-shot Uber Lilith. And the main mechanics requires you to go onto the platform that is about to collapse, dodging the bullets and then running across the platform. After that, you want to learn all the mechanics about dodging and also killing the little blood splitters, and then again run around the platform and also dodge those bullets. Once you have dodged all 3 of the bullets, the platform becomes extremely small. This is when you want to have all your bursts and take down the boss. During this time, he's constantly casting steel grabs together with the shells that provides vulnerability and also bonus damage. And that's pretty much it. So I believe he took down Uber Lilith in close to 2.5 minutes. And this was a very speedy run to allow him to get all the achievements in the season using the Barbarian. Now before I finish, I mentioned I'll show you guys one of the ways my friend or any Barbarian or any boss killer can help you to carry different friends throughout achievements and also Uber bosses. So this is one of the ways my friend was helping me to carry through Uber Lilith. So what is happening right now is I am waiting in my friend list to join my friend's party once he get the boss down to less than 20% HP. So this way, once he get the boss down to low HP as a solo player with less bonus health to the boss, and then the moment he says join, I'll quickly join him to teleport into my friend's world and then portal to him directly. And once I teleport him directly, I'm ported in, notice the boss is down to like 10 less than 10% HP, we'll try to take down the boss together. Of course, there will be some fails as you guys try this, because he was waiting for me, he died in this time. But you can see unsuccessful entry, I believe we tried about 3 to 5 times, and unsuccessful entries, he was able to carry me through Uber Lilith like this, and this is a cool method for you and also your friend to get achievements out of all the Uber boss fights. But for other boss fights guys, you don't really have to do this. For Uber bosses like Andy and also Duriel, he can easily carry 2 men up to 4 men very easily, dealing tons of damage. And that trick was only to carry Uber Lilith just because there's tons of mechanics and it's very hard to dodge this even for a lot of veteran players. Now what I do now is I'll provide you guys with the replays of all the Uber boss fights with co-op, solo player and also against Lilith. And if you guys want to have any questions, feel free to leave in the comments or come over to my friend's video and leave a question to him about this particular build.